Good afternoon, I'm Ben Anderson.
I'm Jocelyn Schifferdecker. Welcome to UCentral News.
We have some major news coming out of Florida today. He tried to overturn the 2020 election and helped incite the Capitol insurrection on January 6. Now, Donald Trump says he's running again for the White House. The former president made it official Tuesday night at Mar-a-Lago in a speech that was full of false claims about his years in office. CNN's Kristen Holmes has more.
America's comeback starts right now.
Former President Donald Trump announcing another bid for the presidency.
2 years ago, we were a great nation, and soon we will be a great nation again.
The twice impeached former president is aiming to be only the second commander-in-chief ever elected to 2 non-consecutive terms. Trump making the long-anticipated announcement in the wake of election losses from several of his endorsed candidates.
Much criticism is being placed on the fact that the Republican Party should have done better, and frankly, much of this blame is correct. But the citizens of our country have not yet realized the full extent and gravity of the pain our nation is going through, and the total effect of the suffering is just starting to take hold. They don't quite feel it yet, but they will very soon.
Given the GOP's midterm losses, some Republicans are wary of another Trump presidential bid. It is widely expected he'll face primary challengers. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is seen as one possible contender to challenge the former president.
We just tell people to go check out the scoreboard from last Tuesday night. It was a hugely underwhelming, disappointing performance.
Another potential contender is his former vice president, Mike Pence.
I think we'll have better choices in the future.
President Biden, who has yet to announce whether he will seek re-election, tweeted after the announcement, quote, "Donald Trump failed America."
I believe I can beat Donald Trump again.
Trump's desire to announce his campaign early coming after the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago, which advisors say further emboldened his decision to mount what he believes will be a triumphant political comeback. Trump is the subject of a bevy of lawsuits and federal investigations, including his possible involvement in the January 6th Capitol attack. Trump is fighting a subpoena issued by the House Select Committee investigating January 6th over providing documents and testimony to the committee.
Now, few Republican lawmakers were actually present for Trump's speech on Tuesday, with many choosing to remain in Washington. The room was filled with prominent election deniers like MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell, several of Trump's attorneys, and past and present aides. Trump's daughter, Ivanka Trump, announced that she is finished with politics and will not be joining her father in the White House again.
Former President Donald Trump is positioning himself as a peacekeeper as he officially begins another White House run. His announcement comes as President Joe Biden conducts peacekeeping of his own. Biden says G7 and NATO leaders agree. They want to investigate an explosion that left 2 dead in Poland before responding to it. Poland says a Russian-made missile fell on a village near its border with Ukraine. The Kremlin firmly denies launching it at the NATO member country. Determining whether Russia was involved is crucial since NATO members pledged to defend each other. Meanwhile, a man who's questioned the need for NATO and the G7 announced last night he's running for president again. Former President Donald Trump painted a rosy picture of his time in office. Biden's team responded to Trump's announcement with a video on Twitter. It references the 2017 white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, and the storming of the U.S. Capitol.
Now, the weather this week has been all over the place.
Absolutely, and I'm personally hoping for some warmer temperatures.
Me too.
Amber, is that a possibility going into this week?
There is a slight possibility we may be seeing at the end of the week of those higher temperatures, but there is a chance of flurries as well. We'll be getting into that in just one moment. 45 degrees up in Oklahoma City right now, and it feels like it is 42 degrees outside with not the strong mile-per-hour winds, so it feels pretty good outside. It feels like a really pretty fall day. Chance of flurries will be seen this week. I'll be keeping you updated of what day we may possibly be seeing that on. Below freezing temperatures throughout the night. So for majority of the week this week, it will be below 30 degrees, which is considered below freezing. So there may be a little bit of ice, kind of dusty snow on the ground. in the early mornings before sunrise. All right, temperatures will be gradually rising throughout this week as well, so be looking forward to that. Through our statewide map right now, it is 45 up in Oklahoma City, 50 up in McAllister, and Miami is feeling 39 degrees outside, and Enid is 45. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Amber. And today we celebrate 115 years of the Sooner State. Oklahoma officially obtained statehood on November 16, 1907. The land we now know as Oklahoma was the 46th state to be added to the United States. The area was once known as Indian Territory because many Native American tribes were relocated here from the southeastern United States. By 1900, over 30 Native American tribes occupied the land. At the same time, ranchers from Texas began searching for farmland in Oklahoma. This caused the government to initiate land runs, a particular hour in which settlers could cross the border and claim homesteads for their families. Those who illegally crossed the border early were known as Sooners. Happy birthday, Oklahoma.
Last night, the Edmond Police Department released an update on Sergeant Joe Wells. They said he has made some major strides towards recovery and was transported from the hospital to a rehab facility last Friday.
Now, as a reminder, Sergeant Wells was critically injured when he was hit head-on at the end of an Edmond police pursuit in September. The driver who hit him was Garrett Trammell. Trammell has been booked and charged for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon.
The student charged with killing 3 University of Virginia football players and injuring 2 others was denied bond at a hearing today. Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. is accused of shooting his fellow students after a field trip Sunday. Authorities say the shooting happened on the bus when it returned to the Charlottesville campus. A prosecutor said Jones shot one of the players while he was sleeping. He faces 3 counts of second-degree murder and 2 counts of malicious wounding. Jones remains in jail. He was assigned a public defender until a status hearing, which will be in December. UVA head football coach Tony Elliott responded to the tragedy and gave his players and students some encouraging words.
I think it's important that we all grieve. I mean, these are outstanding young men that we don't understand why they're gone so early. And I think it's honorable that we grieve these young men. But also, too, we have to keep it in perspective and make sure that we take this pain that we're feeling and try to find a way to turn it into passion and motivation to go forward one day at a time.
Here at UCentral, from one university to another, our hearts reach out to UVA.
In response to the UVA tragedy, I spoke to UCO students about whether they feel safe on campus. Here's what they had to say.
I feel safe on this campus. Definitely I'm going to be a school teacher, so seeing these, it definitely, I'm really fortunate that it's not close to home that it's happening, because I know that could always be at one of the schools that I end up teaching in. I definitely feel safe.
Well, I do recall we did a drill not too long ago. I guess was useful, made me think about what you do in that kind of situation. And I'm also an employee at the university. I'm a TA, and so we had to do a little bit of active shooter training.
So I do feel safe. Just depends on sometimes where the places I go at, especially at night at UCO. But there is the campus police where I've done. Sometimes I've called the police where they walk me back to my dorm and whatnot. But I feel like this campus itself, it is safe. So I don't think I've ever felt endangered or whatnot. So yeah.
We don't ever go over any procedures or anything if something were like that to happen, but it could happen anywhere, but I haven't really thought about it happening here, and I don't really know what I would do because there's so many buildings, but you never know where it would happen.
Now, I also spoke with these students to see if they knew about the safety measures that are in place and the chances of an active shooter here at UCO. Let's take a look.
I know that when you first sign up and enroll in UCO, that you get they have you put your number in, they have you refresh it every year, and they try and get your Twitter, I think, too, so that in the event of any emergency warning or anything like that. I know that when we did the drills, I got a text, a call, and then I got tweeted at.
I feel like the professors should talk about that more. If there's just a point in class time, they can talk about that. I think that'd be a lot more informative for the students here. But and also, I don't think I've seen any signs around the campus posting about the protocols. So.
And I love how they have the option that you can call them anytime and somebody will be there no matter what time it is. So.
Now, I spoke with campus police, and they said their #1 goal is to make sure all of the community members here are safe on campus. They also described their 16 hours of active shooter training. Now, we have a guide right here listing the procedures students should follow in case of an emergency.
That's right, and these red folders are located in every classroom so students can easily see what to do in the case of an emergency.
Some of the things you should do are lock yourself in a room if you can't exit safely and use anything you can to barricade the door.
Make sure to stay away from windows and doors and turn off all the lights. Try to stay calm and quiet.
And if you get caught in an open space, there are 3 different actions you can take. You can hide, try to run, or in the last possible case, you can try to defend yourself.
Once police arrive, make sure to follow all the directions they give.
Now, when we return, Amber will be back with this week's weather forecast.
Stay tuned to see if we have any more chances of rain or snow.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Good evening and welcome to UCentral special coverage of the 2022 general election.
Is that democracy demands the middle. It demands compromise, and if it doesn't, then we're finished.
Harris being the president of the Senate, if those votes go to 50-50, that tiebreaker.
Yep.
So this is definitely going to be one that, we might not even know tonight.
Nope.
I'm still live here at the Oklahoma History Center in Oklahoma City, where Joy Hoffmeister is having her campaign watch party.
We're back here at the Oklahoma GOP watch party with Lieutenant Governor.
Of course, we projected earlier, Governor Kevin Stitt will take a second term as Oklahoma's governor projected.
That's the thing we really want to stress to people is that it is a democracy.
Absolutely.
Your voice matters.
Absolutely.
Change doesn't happen overnight.
Thanks for sticking in UCentral. My name is Amber Poston. Right now, we're going to be seeing 45 up in the city right now, and it feels like it's 42 degrees outside with a 6 north mile per hour wind. So it feels pretty nice outside. So enjoy those fall temperatures. So right now, we're going to be seeing a chance of flurries possibly coming in this week as the temperatures will be gradually rising as well. We'll be seeing some pretty interesting temperatures throughout this week, and below freezing temperatures will be coming in as well. It will be below freezing throughout the night, so there may be a little bit of a dusting on the grass that may look like ice and snow. So it's just because of all the precipitation that is happening in the air currently. Right now, current conditions up in Oklahoma City is 45 degrees right now, 41 up in Ponca City, McAllister, 50 degrees, and Miami is 39 degrees. So tonight it will be 28 degrees outside. It will be feeling a little bit cooler outside. So if you guys do have to go anywhere, just be careful. Wear a jacket, wear some gloves, just have all the necessities that you may need just in case. All right, and then with a small south 5-mile-per-hour wind. And then tonight we'll be up in Oklahoma City. It will be 29 degrees. Up in Enid, it will be quite warmer. So it is going to be 56 degrees. And up in Guymond, it will be 18 degrees up there. Now, tomorrow we will be seeing some pretty higher temperatures. So it will be feeling pretty fall-like tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week as well. 55 up in Oklahoma City, 56 up in Enid, and 57 up in Lawton. So the daily forecast this morning, if you stepped outside, it felt pretty cold out there. It was pretty chilly. I was outside this morning around like 7 in the morning, and it was quite chilly. So 30 degrees this morning and 45 currently, and 28 right now or later tonight. Now the 7-day forecast we will be seeing possible flurries up on Friday, so be aware, just be careful and cautious. We'll be seeing a bunch of 50s and 40s throughout the state and lower 20s and 30s. Back to you.
And when we return, we'll have UCentral's Jaden Ford with Central Diversity.
Where we'll take a look at a new podcast for Central Diversity and a silent protest for the Indigenous people. Stay tuned.
I was raised to believe in the power of possibility, to always move forward but never forget where I came from, to value hard work, ingenuity, and hospitality. On one hand, my people are rough and rugged. On the other, refined and elegant. They taught me how to love beautiful things and cherish my past, to seek out adventure, eat well, and to have a good time. So I keep their traditions alive every place I go. They call me Oklahoma City, but you can call me the modern frontier.
UCentral News as a whole, you got to be in those different areas, like being on camera, being off camera, being in the control room. And so I feel like that is what prepared me most about being in the workplace.
UCentral and the Mass Comm department has provided me all the tools and the fundamentals that are needed in order to thrive well and thrive fast at my job.
Maybe it's time to hit the road and visit a place where stories unfold. This is the land of the ultimate road trip, with sights old and new on Route 66. There's fun to be had, so much to do, and a few new surprises before you get through. Oklahoma has the most miles to share of Route 66. It's really quite rare. TravelOK.com will show you the way. Come see for yourself this iconic highway.
Hello, UCO family, and welcome back to Central Diversity. UCO Mass Communication Department applied and received the diversity grant from the National Endowment of Humanities. This grant has allowed UCentral to develop a state-of-the-art podcast room where students can create and produce podcasts that can help build their reels for jobs after graduation. And tomorrow, the silent march for missing children of Indigenous people starts at 5:30 p.m. The UCO branch of American Association for Women is marching to silence and acknowledge missing and murdered Indigenous people. The purpose of this march is to advocate for the end of violence. It also seeks to draw attention for the high rates of disappearance and murders of Indigenous people, particularly women and girls. And for more information, you can contact Christy Moore on the event, and she'll have more details on her site. And this week marks Transgender Awareness Week. 1.6 million Americans identify as transgender, and the goal of this week is to raise visibility for the community in a positive way. In 2022, at least 15 states have either restricted access to gender-affirming care or taken up legislation that would do so. Some of the bills are even penalizing healthcare providers and family members. A recent survey by the Trevor Project indicates that 93% of trans and non-binary youths worry about being denied access to care. Major organizations like the American Medical Association support gender-affirming care. These point to studies that show transgender children who get hormone therapy also enjoy better mental health and have a lessened risk for self-harm. That's all I have for you guys today here on Central Diversity. And join us next week for our last fall show. I'm Jaden Ford, and back to the desk with Ben and Jocelyn.
Thank you, Jaden. And up next, we'll hear from our very own sports anchor, Brooke Niver.
Make sure to stay tuned for some UCO basketball updates and more.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
In the land of wonder and awe, you won't believe you see what you saw. Where there's something to do for young and for old, where stories are written and then they're retold. Visit travelok.com today. Come see for yourself and come out to play.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brooke Niver with your sports update. The men's basketball team beat Berkeley College last night 113-54. The Broncos are now at a 2-0 record. Jaden Wells was the leading scorer again this week. He had 17 points, going 6 for 13 from the floor and 5 for 9 from the three-point line. He also had 3 steals against Berkeley. Central shot a 56.4% from the floor yesterday and shot a 34.4% from behind the three-point line, making 11 of the 32 shots from deep on the court. The Broncos play again on Thursday against Kansas Christian at the Hamilton Fieldhouse at 7 p.m. Even though football season is over, several athletes were recognized. 12 Central football players were recognized by the MIAA with all-league honors. Senior defensive lineman Michael Slater and sophomore kicker Nikki Cavito were both named second team, while several others were given third team honors and honorable mention. Slater had 27 total tackles this season, with 4.5 sacks, 8 QB hurries, and 1 fumble forced and recovered. Cavito averaged 58.9 yards per kick on 54 kickoffs this season. The team finished with a 6-5 record for the 2022 season. Now to the NFL. Denver Broncos outside linebacker Aaron Patrick has filed a lawsuit after an injury he suffered on October 17th. The lawsuit resulted after Patrick tore his ACL when he tackled a Chargers kicker. He ran into a sideline worker, and this resulted in Patrick stepping on a mat that covered the TV cables, making him twist his knee awkwardly. The injury limited his playing time, reduced his salary, and the lawsuit is requesting to have a jury trial. With that being said, Week 11 for the NFL starts tomorrow night with the Titans playing the Packers. The Tennessee Titans are 6-3, while the Green Bay Packers are 4-6. Both teams have gone to overtime in the last 2 weeks, with the Titans beating the Broncos and the Packers beating the Cowboys. The Packers have released slot receiver Randall Cobb from injured reserve. Before being injured, Cobb caught 18 passes for 257 yards and 0 touchdowns. Kickoff is at 7:15 on CBS or on Fox. That's all I have for sports today. Make sure to keep up with Bronco Athletics on broncosports.com. Have a great rest of your day, Edmond, and remember, roll Chos. Back to Jocelyn and Ben at the desk.
Thanks, Brooke. And coming up, an Oklahoma tradition opens up today.
And Amber will have one last look at weather for us when we come back.
Found my heart out there in the
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back. There's some new additions to a famous Thanksgiving tradition this year. Several new floats will make an appearance at the 96th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Designers are putting their final touches before next week. Wonder Bread is debuting its Wonder Ship, a clear dome filled with balls and confetti. There's the Baby Shark float, and Toys R Us is back with a new Jeffrey called Jeffrey's Dazzling Dance Party. He'll be DJ as Jordan Sparks performs. Designers have been working for months to execute these visions.
And just in time for the holiday season, the Devon Ice Rink opened today in the Myriad Botanical Gardens.
It will be open from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mondays through Thursday, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday, and 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday.
Now, the rink will be open until January 29th. Admission is $14 per person, including skate rental. For more information, visit myriadgardens.com or .org/Devon Ice Rink. Now, I don't know about you, Jocelyn, but I am a terrible ice skater. Yes, I am the absolute worst. Amber, what about you?
I used to be a figure skater, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
okay.
I love ice skating, so that's honestly quite exciting to me. So if y'all ever want some ice skating tips, let me know. And we can go.
Sure.
All right, so we're going to be looking at our temperatures right now. It was 30 degrees up this morning if you stepped outside. It felt pretty cold outside. You probably needed a hat or a beanie and a jacket. So right now it is 45 degrees outside, but it feels pretty good out there. It's not super cold because there isn't a strong gust of wind, so it feels pretty nice out there. And it will feel like 28 tonight. Now we're going to be looking at the statewide map. It is 29 degrees tonight and 23 up in Woodward, 20 up in Clinton, and 27 up in Altus. Now I'll step out of the way so you can look at the 7-day forecast. Possible flurries will be happening, or possibly will be happening on Friday, so keep an eye out on that. It's nothing too serious at the moment, but a bunch of 40s and some 50s throughout the week and some lower temperatures in the evening. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Amber. And we got some news for some food lovers here. Since pumpkin spice Spam was surprisingly popular a few years ago, the canned meat brand has introduced another unique holiday flavor. Now, Spam Figgy Pudding. What is figgy pudding, you ask? It's a traditional British Christmas dessert made with seasonal spices, beef fat, and dried fruit. So think Spam with notes of cinnamon, nutmeg, orange, and fig. Spam Figgy Pudding could be a nice addition to your holiday charcuterie board, or at the very least, it will be a good talker for your holiday party. Spam Figgy Pudding is available for purchase now for a limited time. You can find it on Amazon or the Walmart or Spam websites.
And just in time for the holidays, LEGO has unveiled its tallest building ever. But it's the new LEGO Eiffel Tower set. It contains 10,000 pieces, and once complete, it's an authentic replica of the iconic landmark in Paris that stands nearly 5 feet tall. The Lego Eiffel Tower set isn't really appropriate for young kids because it's not easy to build. It's recommended for those 18 and up. It's not cheap either. The price tag, $630. That looks really cool. I love the Eiffel Tower. I love Legos, but $630?
Yeah, I don't know about that. My older brother, he really loves those old, like those big sets and stuff.
Yeah.
I got the Titanic one a few years ago,
Oh,
and
very
it's just
cool.
gigantic. So there's absolutely no room for that. But if you're a Lego lover, get it. But anyways, that's all the time we had for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
I'm Jocelyn Schifferdecker.
And I'm Ben Anderson.
Have a great night.